Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral and I'm a fourth generation witch. I am here today with a video all about cleansing, purification and smudging. And I want to talk about the cultures that it came from and why we would do it and how we can do it, because there are so many different aspects to a good cleanse and a good smudge. And I also would like to discuss whether we should use the word smudge. So this is my video on cleaning. Love a bit of cleaning. So what do I mean by cleansing? I mean the purification of your environment. And at the beginning of a new year, this is the time when you've got New Year's energy happening all around you to really go through your home and clear and cleanse its atmosphere. So what is this going to do? Well, it will purify and increase the positivity in your home. Get rid of all the negativity and the stagnant energy that's hanging around, and you will just feel better, lighter, freer and happier. It is something that I do quite often, but that's because I work with a lot of dark forces. And so there is a lot of negativity going on around me. So I have to ensure that I am free of it at all times, because it can affect you. Most notably, the way that negativity and stagnant energy affects you is mental health. If you go round clearing and cleansing your environment, you will find an improvement. Before we get into the subject in depth, I just wanted to talk about the Native American smudging ceremony, which lots of people claim we are appropriating. Well, in answer to this, I would like to ask you to look or go into any Jewish temple, and this Jewish religion has been around for, 5,000 years, something along those lines, and see their use of incense and smoke for purification and sanctification of the area, because that is essentially what the smudging ceremony is doing. Any Hindu temple will also have 1,000 joss sticks clearing, purifying and sanctifying the area. Likewise, if anyone's ever been to a Catholic Mass, incense is used to clean the congregation, to clean the area and to help your words of prayer rise up to your God. So it is a really old ceremony. The Incas used it, the Mayans used it, the Buddhists used it. I don't know, who's the oldest religion in the world? Probably Hinduism, isn't it? That's about 15,000 BC or something. And they have been using smoke purification ceremonies for all of their history. Now, this smoke purification ceremony is used in adjunct with prayers. That's pretty much like the smudging ceremony of the Native Americans. So although there might be complaints of appropriation, I think that you can say you've appropriated it from every ceremony. The word smudge is a very useful word because it means purification by smoke and prayer, essentially, because that's their ceremony, which is what, as an Old Ways witch, I do all the time. In fact, every coven ritual, and if you've joined my coven meeting, which is coming up, by the way, go to patreon.com for further details. If you have joined my coven meeting, you will know that I get everyone to smudge and purify themselves before we start the meeting. There can be no negativity and stagnant energy brought into that meeting. And it's a really important step in our coven meeting rituals. So I apologise to Native Americans if you think that I'm appropriating your smudging ceremony. I'm most likely appropriating your word smudge. But do you have a right to language? I do not mean to be disrespectful. My ancestors, my pagan ancestors, my druidic ancestors have all been using smoke and prayer as a purification and sanctification ceremony. Now, there are lots of different ways that you can use smoke as a purification. Lots of people use a smudge stick, as it's called. And I've got one here. This is a white sage smudge stick, which has been grown in the UK commercially and has never seen a prairie or a Native American land. The only thing I'd say about smudge sticks is please buy from a reputable source. I'll use a lot of lavender in my smudge sticks. And although there is no lavender at the moment growing around the place and I've run out, so I'm going to use a white sage. This is perfect for purification. Many years ago when I got my first white sage stick, I remember lighting it and I immediately went into the third eye astral spirit plane. It was a little unnerving at the time because I was just like, what? I'm here. Okay, right. Hi everyone. So it can help with opening your third eye. The other type of smoke purification you might use is from the Palo Santo. And I've got a Palo Santo stick here. These are sold quite expensively, may I say, on the internet. Now, traditionally and really, Palo Santo is a tree that grows in South America. In order for the oils and the essential ingredients to develop, the tree must have died and fallen to the forest floor naturally, whereupon it needs to rot on the forest floor for 5 to 8 years. Now, I can pretty much guarantee that this Palo Santo stick has not been rotting on the forest floor, because this one was given to me. However, I personally buy my Palo Santo sticks from a company who does guarantee that they are harvested naturally and fairly without damaging the environment, because let's face it, that is a big deal. The more of us use these, the more we need the confirmation of the sustainability of our sources. The Palo Santo tree is an extraordinary tree. It has groves of where there is one male tree and surrounding it is 8 female trees, because they come in male and female form. The male tree has a slightly lighter wood, and I've got a male tree bit here, and the female tree has slightly heavier wood. I know this one is harvested sustainably, and you can tell because it's got a gleam on it of the oils that have developed since it's been lying on the floor from between 5 and 8 years. I mean, the smell is also completely different to this one. Palo Santo, it's said if you like the smell that you're spiritually and psychically pure. I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe you're just more energetically aligned with a Palo Santo. Personally, I prefer a white sage smudge. One of the most wonderful things about Palo Santo is not only does it repel and deplete stagnant and negative energy from your area, but it also invites positivity in. It also has the added benefit of being antimicrobial, antibacterial, and an insect repellent. So it not only cleans you energetically, it cleans you bacterially speaking as well. Palo Santo, otherwise known as wood of the saints. The other cleansing instrument that you can use is, of course, a joss stick, and I think this one I've got here is rose because I love rose. Is it? No, I'm completely lie. It's sandalwood. I love sandalwood too, actually. It's one of my favourite. I love sandalwood. This is my incense burner here, and you can also use this. I'm currently burning, I think, it looks like frankincense to me. It smells a bit like frankincense too, because I love frankincense, and also that is a great sanctification and purification incense blend. However, you can put anything in there. You know, you can put up dried Palo Santo sticks or lavender or any herbs or any incense blend that you care to make. As you can see here, I have various accoutrements of a cleansing ceremony. I love this one. This is a singing bowl, which of course makes that lovely sound. I love it, I have to say. The other thing I have got on my shelf is a turkey feather. And you can use any old feather. I just happen to have a turkey feather given to me by a friend who has a turkey, who is a pet, and hangs around gobbling in their yard. You would use a feather to comb smoke. You can cut in with your feather to distribute the smoke better. The other thing that people like to use are seashells. This brings elemental magic into your cleansing ceremony. So this is a representation of water. And what people use seashells for is to catch the ashes from your sticks that you're burning. So this stick obviously is the earth, the air and the fire. Your seashell is this water, and therefore you have elemental aspect. If you wanted to include the ether, you use your feather. And this is a brilliant way to cut in your cleansing smoke into your home using elemental magic. That happens to be one of my favourite ways to cleanse a room with smoke, using the earth, air, fire, water and spirit elements. And it just feels really good cutting the smoke. I can feel myself getting rid of that negativity and stagnant energy and replacing it with joy, peace and harmony. And the last thing that I've got on my bench is a pot of salt. Once you have cleansed your home and your area, you can now protect it with salt. And one thing that is very easy to do is simply place a line of salt across your front and back doors. This means that anyone coming in and out of your home has to cross that line of salt, and that helps with your purification. So the first thing I like to do when cleansing a room is, of course, to open the windows and doors, because this is letting out the negativity that we're going to cleanse from the area. The next thing I like to do is to bang my singing bowl. You could use a bell. You could use loud music. It is the vibrational sound that forces out negative and stagnant energy. Make sure that you go through all the hidden areas. I like to go round the corners of each room. After all the banging and the singing and the bowls and the bells, you can now begin to smudge. And I like again to go into every corner and nook and cranny. It's really important when you go into a bedroom to make sure that you give a good cleanse underneath the bed. The stories of monsters being under the bed is so true. People often pull their negativity underneath their bed whilst they sleep, and the more negativity gets together, the worse it can become. So don't forget to clean that area especially. Once smudging is finished, line your doors with salt and also any windows. If you want to join my coven or learn witchcraft, do get a Patreon. Otherwise, you can always catch me on Instagram and TikTok, but I'm not very good on TikTok yet. I'm only learning that, so I'm not going to give you the details. You'll have to go and search for me secretly. In the meantime, I really hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and please subscribe. It really helps my channel, and I will see you in a couple of days.